There are footballers who leave highlights. There are legends who leave trophies. And then there are visionaries who leave philosophies. Johan Cruyff was all three. Today, we're not just looking at the career of a football player. We're exploring the life of a thinker, a rebel, a man who picked up the sport of football and reshaped it in his image. This is the story of a boy from the streets of Amsterdam who rose to become a three-time Ballon d'Or winner, a World Cup icon, the architect of total football, the godfather of tiki-taka, and the man who laid the foundations of modern Barcelona. From tragedy to triumph, from chaos to control, from concrete alleys to the grandest stages of football. This is the legacy of Johan Cruyff. Chapter 1. The Amsterdam Streets. Hendrik Johannes Cruyff was born on April 25, 1947, in Amsterdam, Netherlands. But the world would come to know him simply as Johan Cruyff, a name that would echo through football history. He grew up in Beatendorp, a working-class neighborhood near Ajax's stadium. Life wasn't easy. His father, Manus, ran a greengrocery. His mother, Nell, worked relentlessly to support the family. When Johan was just 12, tragedy struck. His father suffered a fatal heart attack. Losing his father devastated him, but it also lit a fire inside him. From that moment on, Johan wasn't just playing football. He was playing to honor a memory. His mother later found work at Ajax, not as a coach or executive, but as a cleaner. While sweeping locker rooms, she unintentionally opened the door to destiny. Johan was already in love with football, but now he had proximity to greatness. He played every spare minute, not on grass fields, but on cobblestone streets. No coaches, no cones, just instinct, wit, and survival. Street football in Amsterdam was brutal. Small spaces, bigger kids, no referees. If you couldn't think fast, you'd lose the ball. If you couldn't move smart, you'd get kicked. It was here Johan developed his most valuable skill, intelligence. At Ajax, two men noticed him early: English coach Vic Buckingham, and later, the legendary Rinus Michels. They saw something unique in the boy, not just talent, but audacity. Cruyff wasn't afraid to take risks. He demanded the ball. He barked instructions at grown men. Even as a teenager, he played like he already understood football better than those around him. In 1964, at just 17 years old, he made his professional debut for Ajax. Skinny, sharp, uncompromising. His era had begun. Chapter 2. The Ajax Years. The late 1960s and early 1970s were a golden era for Ajax, and Johan Cruyff was at its heart. Under Rinus Michels and later Stefan Kovac, Ajax crafted a style that would forever change football. Total football. It was more than a tactic, it was a philosophy. A player could swap positions seamlessly. Defenders would surge forward. Attackers would retreat. Every movement mattered. Every pass, every space, every decision was interconnected. And at the center of it all, there was Johan. He was not merely a forward, he was the conductor of an orchestra. Dropping deep, he drew defenders out of position, created chances, and orchestrated attacks with a precision that seemed almost supernatural. Between 1966 and 1973, Ajax dominated Dutch football. They claimed 8 Eredivisie titles and 5 KNVB Cups. But the world remembers Europe. Ajax won the European Cup 3 consecutive times: 1971, 1972, and 1973. And in those triumphs, Cruyff was sublime. The Cruyff turn became a symbol of his genius, deceptively simple, impossibly effective. But what made Cruyff extraordinary was not tricks, it was intelligence, movement, vision, a mind that seemed always 2 steps ahead. In 1971, he won his first Ballon d'Or. He would claim it again in 1973 and 1974. For a brief period, he was the best player on the planet. Yet, even at the pinnacle, Cruyff questioned everything. Training methods, tactics, formations. He challenged the system. He argued with coaches. He thought differently. Sometimes it caused friction. Sometimes it caused frustration. But always it pushed football forward. Chapter 3. The 1974 World Cup, 12 o'clock, 17:30. The 1974 World Cup, Johan Cruyff, now captain, led a team that seemed to be playing a different sport. Players like Johan Neeskens, Ruud Krol, Wim van Hanegem, and Johnny Rep executed Michels's vision flawlessly. But Cruyff was the symbol, the heartbeat, the genius. The group stage was a statement. Argentina fell 4-0. Brazil, often the gold standard of football artistry, succumbed 2-0. Each match was a masterclass. The Dutch weren't just winning, they were rewriting the game. Then came the final against West Germany in Munich. The opening sequence is legendary. From the kickoff, the Netherlands passed with fluidity and purpose. Cruyff moved into the penalty area and was brought down. Penalty awarded, and the Dutch were 1-0 up before Germany had even touched the ball. But fate was cruel. Germany equalized with a penalty by Paul Breitner. Later, Gerd Müller's strike sealed a 2-1 defeat for the Netherlands. The best team did not lift the trophy. The most beautiful football did not triumph. It was a loss that would haunt Cruyff. The 1974 Netherlands became immortal in defeat, a symbol of beauty over victory. Cruyff would never play in another World Cup. In 1978, when the Netherlands reached the final again, he refused to participate, citing complex personal reasons, including family concerns and tensions with the Dutch Football Federation. Even in absence, his legend loomed large. The world understood that greatness was not measured only by trophies, but by vision, style, and influence. Chapter 4. Barcelona, the player. After conquering Europe with Ajax, Johan Cruyff made a decision that stunned the football world. In 1973, he left his beloved club for Barcelona, for a then-record transfer of $2 million. Why Barcelona? Partly the challenge. The club had long lived in the shadow of Real Madrid. Cruyff saw an opportunity, not just to win, but to transform. His impact was immediate. In his first season, Barcelona claimed their first La Liga title in 14 years, highlighted by a 5-0 triumph over Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. It was more than a victory. It was a declaration. Football could be beautiful and dominant at the same time. Cruyff brought philosophy, intelligence, and vision. He taught not only teammates but the club itself how to play. Possession-based, attacking, intelligent football. He stayed until 1978, winning another La Liga and the Copa del Rey, but his influence went far beyond silverware. He planted seeds that would flourish decades later. After Barcelona, Cruyff played in the United States with the Los Angeles Aztecs and Washington Diplomats, before returning to the Netherlands for a controversial spell at Feyenoord, where he added another Eredivisie title to his collection. He retired as a player in 1984, leaving behind an era defined by style, intelligence, and vision. Chapter 5. The Philosopher. To understand Johan Cruyff as a coach, you must first understand him as a thinker. He believed football was not merely a game of scoring goals or winning matches. It was a language. His philosophy rested on clear, profound principles. 1. Possession is everything. If you have the ball, the opponent cannot score. Control it, and you control the match. 2. Attack is the best defense. Press high, reclaim quickly, and dominate through initiative. 3. Positional intelligence. Understand space, create it, exploit it, deny it to your opponents. Football is chess at 100 miles per hour. 4. Youth development. Teach players young, instill principles early, and the system thrives. 5. Technical excellence. Every player must be comfortable under pressure, capable of decision-making, capable of elegance. Cruyff also had a gift for words, sometimes simple, sometimes profound. Playing football is very simple. But playing simple football is the hardest thing there is. Quality without results is pointless. Results without quality is boring. Choose the best player for every position, and you'll end up not with a strong 11, but with 11 strong ones. These were not just quotes. They were the blueprint for his coaching, and ultimately for the modern game. In 1988, Johan Cruyff returned to Barcelona, not as a player, but as a coach. The club was struggling, trophies were scarce, and its identity uncertain. Cruyff brought with him a vision, a philosophy, and an unshakable belief in beauty and intelligence. He reshaped the team from the ground up. Young players from La Masia were promoted, Pep Guardiola among them. Cruyff instilled the principles he had lived by: possession, pressing, positional awareness, technical excellence, and at Guardiola and Michael Laudrup in midfield, and forwards like Romario, Hristo Stoichkov, and later Luis Figo embodied Cruyff's ideals. Barcelona played a revolutionary 3-4-3 formation. Defenders pushed high, midfielders rotated, forwards dropped intelligently. 4 consecutive La Liga titles, 1991 to 1994. Barcelona's first European Cup in 1992, defeating Sampdoria 1-0 at Wembley, with a famous free-kick goal from Koeman. Multiple Copa del Rey titles. Yet Cruyff's tenure was not without tension. His uncompromising personality often clashed with club president Josep Luis Núñez. In 1996, after a period of decline and following Barcelona's 4-0 defeat to AC Milan in the Champions League, Cruyff was dismissed. Even in departure, his influence endured. He had changed the DNA of Barcelona. He had proven La Masia could produce world-class players. He had shown that football could be both beautiful and victorious.